Hello there. If you've found your way to my sharing, then I'm certain you're going through a crisis or harboring a significant worry in the midst of this uncertain stage of life. Thank you for staying here and allowing me to share something with you. Something I believe might touch the deepest fear in your heart right now. I don't know where you are, what you do, or how much you earn each month. But I'm sure of one thing: if you're still listening, it means somewhere deep down, there's a dream you haven't admitted you've lost. Am I right? Turning 30, it sounds strong and secure. People say that by 30, a man should have a solid career, a woman should have a complete family. Some even flaunt their homes, cars, and savings accounts. But at night, how many of them ever tell you about the days they were terrified of losing their jobs, of their parents falling ill, of their children going hungry, of one fall that might stop them from ever getting back up? 2 years ago, I was just like you. I worked an office job, earned just enough to get by, but every morning I felt like a mouse running endlessly in a wheel, running so I wouldn't fall behind, running to pay rent, hospital bills for my mom, school fees for my kid, and running to hide my shame. I once had big dreams. So what happened? I was so afraid of failure, I didn't even dare to try again. Until one day, I read a quote. "Failing at 30 won't kill you, it's giving up that murders your dreams." Do you understand? Failure only makes you fall, but giving up is what kills every opportunity. I have a brother. He started a business at 28, borrowing nearly 2 billion VND to open a coffee shop. Just 8 months later, he lost everything, drowning in debt. Friends disappeared, his girlfriend left. He had to work as a delivery driver to repay what he owed. People called him stupid. But it was those hot, sweaty noons and rainy nights on the motorbike that gave him the chance to reflect. He observed his customers, learned how to run a business, and 5 years later he opened a smaller cafe, built from money he earned with his own hands. Today, he owns a chain of 3 cafes, not huge, but enough that no one dares to belittle him anymore. If he had given up at 30, all he'd have today is a pile of old debts. If I had given up at 30, I wouldn't be sitting here sharing this with you, because I would have drowned long ago in a stable but soulless job. I want you to ask yourself, are you afraid of failure? Yes. But what's scarier is that you no longer dare to try. What did you once want when you were 20? Study abroad, open a bakery, become a writer, or simply live a life where you didn't have to depend on anyone? Which drawer is that dream tucked away in now? Tomorrow, everything might still feel stuck, debts piling up, your boss breathing down your neck. But at least tonight, admit to yourself that you're not out of chances. You can start small, write a plan, read a book, save 500,000 VND, meet someone who's walked the path before you. Don't think, I'm too old. At 30, you still have over 30 more years to turn the tables. No one teaches you this in life. It's not in books, but reality will hit you the hardest to show you. Failing at 30 doesn't kill you. Giving up is what truly murders the dreams you once had. I'm not promising this message will change your life overnight. But I believe, if you're still listening, you're already ready to rise at least one more time for yourself. 1. Failing at 30. The price for years of comfort. Imagine waking up one morning, you've officially turned 30. Everything's the same, except suddenly you feel empty. You go to work and see younger colleagues, 5-7 years your junior, running big projects, buying houses, investing everywhere, while you sit in your stable job with a salary just enough to cover monthly expenses. No one scolds you, no one tells you to quit. But that very comfort is the pit slowly pulling you down. In your 20s, you told your friends, let's take it slow, enjoy life first, we're still young. You quit jobs just because the boss gave too much pressure. You spent your paycheck on things you didn't need. You thought youth was for living it up. But you didn't realize that every all-nighter you spent partying would become a debt in the future. Every time you delayed learning a new skill, you silently shut a door of opportunity without even noticing. Then at 30, you start to panic holding a mortgage application the bank won't approve because of unstable income. You feel inferior sitting in a cafe as friends talk about investing in stocks, real estate, juggling billions, while you stay silent. Every morning you wake up and ask yourself, what have I done these past 10 years? In truth, you didn't fail in a day, a month, or even a year. You failed in all the moments you allowed yourself to go easy. Those late nights binge-watching shows without learning anything new. The days of working 8 hours, then tossing your laptop aside, rejecting every chance to grow. The hangouts, the vacations, the impulsive spending thinking life is meant to be enjoyed, all of it has added up to one big debt. No one forbids you from resting, no one stops you from living comfortably. But the cost of comfort in youth is struggling at 30. When you want to switch careers, you're scared because there's no time to learn from scratch. When you want to earn more, you're afraid because you can't compete with younger, faster, cheaper talents. When you want to start something new, you're paralyzed because you don't even have a single emergency fund. Failing at 30 doesn't mean you're not smart or capable. It's because you wasted the best years of your life. And the most painful thing is, no one can compensate you for that lost time. You can't go back to 20 to start over anymore. This is not a strange story. I know a woman who used to be the beauty queen of my old company. At 25, she had the looks, communication skills, and no shortage of promotion opportunities. But she always chose a comfortable lifestyle, doing just enough, avoiding conflict, steering clear of competition, spending weekends cafe hopping and shopping. At 30, she was still in the same position. Her salary hadn't increased much, while the boss had already refreshed the team with younger, more energetic people. By the time she realized she needed a breakthrough, it was too late. When she brought her resume to interview at other companies, her skills were weak, her experience outdated. No one said it outright, but their eyes said it all. We need someone who can get the job done, not a pretty flower who knows how to smile. So if you're still in your 20s or 25, think carefully. Are you paying the price for comfort, or are you laying the foundation so you won't panic at 30? One evening spent learning a new skill is worth 100 pointless coffee chats. Saying yes to extra work or tackling a difficult task will forge your resilience. A book you read today will give you the confidence to talk investments tomorrow. Don't lull yourself to sleep with the phrase, everything will be fine. Nothing becomes fine on its own. If you want comfort at 30 or 40, you must endure hardship, discipline, and effort in your 20s. That's the fairest rule no one can escape. And remember, failure at 30 doesn't come from anyone but your own leniency today. If you don't want to wake up one day and realize you've been left behind, then start now while you still can. 2. The fear of being judged at 30. Many people only begin to realize this at 30-something that seems obvious. We're living under the scrutiny of others. When you're younger, you don't really care. But as you hit 30, you start asking yourself, what do people think of me? Am I living the right way? Is my career on track? Is my monthly salary enough to make my parents proud? Do I have what others have: kids, a house, a car? I still remember the story of Trang, a college classmate. After graduation, Trang didn't go work for a big company. She opened a tiny bakery at the alley's entrance. While everyone else was showing off salaries and titles, Trang was waking up at 4 a.m., hands covered in flour, her face smudged and tired. A few times, she confessed she feared class reunions the most. Afraid of pitying glances, afraid of harmless questions that cut deep like a blade. Still baking cakes? Why not get a real job? How much are you earning now? Where's your husband? Why isn't he here with you? Trang went through a period of mild depression. Because every night after the last customer had left, she would sit alone, staring at her shop and wonder, am I going the right way? Or am I really just a failure? Until one day, Trang stopped all the questions and kept only one. Am I living the life I want? And when the answer was yes, all the judgment suddenly became weightless. We fear being judged because we let others define our worth. The older we get, the more this fear grows. You might be too afraid to quit a job you hate just because you're scared people will say you're crazy. You don't dare love someone unconventional because you're afraid of gossip. You don't try something new because you're scared people will laugh if you fail. But think about it. At the end of the day, who pays the price for that fear? You. No one else. They say a few words and move on, but you carry the burden, suffocating in fear, trapped in your comfort zone. Turning 30 is a psychological turning point. You're old enough to know no one will live your life for you, and you're not young enough to keep wasting your life on others' opinions. You'll be judged no matter what. Do well, they'll envy you. Do poorly, they'll look down on you. Stay single, they'll question it. Have a family, they'll nitpick. So why not just live honestly, live fully? Has anyone ever told you this story? An old man, a boy, and a donkey. At first, they both walked beside the donkey. People said, how stupid, they have a donkey and aren't riding it. So the boy got on and the old man walked. People said, ungrateful brat, making the old man walk. They switched, old man rode, boy walked. Then people said, cruel old man, making the child walk. They both rode the donkey, and people shouted, you monsters, the poor donkey. In the end, the two carried the donkey on their shoulders. See? There will always be someone criticizing. The best way is to smile and keep going. When you're busy living a meaningful life, you no longer have time to fear judgment. If you're 30 and struggling under everyone's gaze, ask yourself, am I living my life? Does this make me happy? If the answer is yes, keep going. Let others talk and forget. You only have one life. Don't throw it away for others to tear apart. Fear of judgment is natural, but having the courage to move past it, that's what sets you apart. And 10 years from now, you'll realize all those criticisms meant nothing. 3. The stupid mistakes everyone makes at 30. It sounds familiar, but look at yourself. Have you ever fallen into these traps? 1. Trusting the wrong person. Back then, I had a friend. He called me out for drinks, filled my glass, slapped my shoulder. Stick with me, kid, you won't lose out. Strong words, a few handshakes, a couple nods. No contract, no paperwork. You know the ending? The money vanished, and so did the friendship. My friend still bitterly recalls that line. Trust me, like a scar that never heals. You've probably heard it too. Someone said, just trust me. Go for it, you'll be fine. And then you were left holding a mess. It's not just about losing money, it's losing trust in your own judgment. 2. Burning all your money on an untested idea. Many people in their 30s carry a big dream in their heads. They quit their jobs, drain their savings, borrow more from family and banks. They believe their product will sell like hotcakes. But they forget one important thing. The market doesn't care about your dream. It only cares if you solve a problem. I've seen people import entire containers of goods, eagerly launch, only to stack it all up in storage because no customers bothered to buy. I've seen cafes open with grand celebrations, banners shouting huge discounts, and then a few months later, everything is sold off for scrap. All because they forgot to test small, forgot to ask what customers actually need, forgot that behind a product are hundreds of messy things like marketing, operations, delivery, warranty. 3. Not having an emergency fund. This is the most classic mistake. I once witnessed a colleague who earned 30 million VND a month, but spent 35 million. Every month was paycheck to paycheck, buying luxury goods, lavish travel, always posting vibrant stories, until the company laid people off and she free fell. No savings, no unemployment insurance, no one to help. She had to sell her designer bags, her car, borrow from loan sharks to stay afloat. Losing income is painful enough, but losing self-confidence, dignity, and relationships because of money is the real nightmare. Your 30s is the age where you must have at least 6 months of living expenses saved. Yet many people spend every cent they earn. They forget that life is very fair. It always throws you an unexpected crisis to test whether you've grown wiser. 4. Believing compliments too soon. A friend of mine started selling online. First month he profited 20 million, the next month 50 million. Family marveled, friends praised. Wow, you're so good at making money. He believed it, believed he'd made it. Then borrowed more to expand, chasing bigger ambitions. It only took one small disruption, a supply issue, rising costs, a strong competitor, and everything collapsed. Praise from others won't pay your bank debts, and it won't save you from reckless decisions. Life never teaches you for free. These mistakes don't require anyone to guide you. Life leads you into the trap and charges a high tuition fee. The worst part isn't losing money, it's the regret. If only I had been more clear-headed. But you know what? One stupid moment doesn't make you stupid forever. As long as you dare to face it, remember it, carve it into your bones, turn them into rules. Never trust anyone without clear commitments. Never pour all your money into something untested. Never live without an emergency fund. Never let a few compliments give you the illusion of invincibility. 4. Are you experiencing fake failure? What is fake failure? It's not like a real stumble that wakes you up. Fake failure is more subtle. It turns you into an actor playing the role of someone who's trying, but nothing ever comes from it. Do you know what's worse than failure? Fake failure, a sneaky trap that keeps many people from ever standing back up. You hear many people say, "I've tried, but I still failed." But ask yourself, have you really tried? Or are you just lulling yourself to sleep with a few half-hearted efforts, then labeling it failure? First sign, you change goals too quickly. Many say they're persistent, but in truth, they don't stick to one path long enough. They learn a foreign language for 3 months, don't get good, and quit. They try selling online for 2 weeks, no one buys, and they stop. They think they failed, but in reality, they just quit before they gave it enough time to succeed. Think about it. If you plant a mango seed and dig it up a week later to see if it sprouted, will you get fruit? Life's the same. To know whether you've really failed or not, ask, have you been persistent long enough? Second sign, you learn but don't act. This is the most common kind of failure. So many people read books, watch self-development videos, fill their notebooks with motivational quotes, but when it's time to step outside, they don't dare to do anything. Knowing without doing is the same as not knowing. Learning without applying is the same as not learning. A real failure is someone who keeps acting despite no results yet, but still does it. A fake failure is someone who sits at a desk, fantasizing about success. Third sign, you only dare to do easy things. Many people are constantly busy, but they're only doing trivial tasks. Ask yourself, how much time are you spending on truly important, difficult tasks that force you out of your comfort zone? Successful people face the hard stuff. Fake failures choose easy tasks just to feel like I'm trying too, but in reality, it's just wasting time. Fourth sign, you give up responsibility easily. Fake failures love to blame. When plans fall apart, they look for excuses. My boss didn't support me. The market was bad. I was born unlucky. Real failures take responsibility. That very act makes them stronger after every stumble. Want to know which group you belong to? Look at how you react when everything falls apart. Do you blame yourself or do you blame others? We've all failed. But only when you're brave enough to face it, tough enough to get up and stick with it to the end, will you know what real failure is and how to overcome it. If you're stuck in fake failure, you'll live a life that feels safe, but ultimately meaningless. Sit down, grab a pen and paper, and answer these 4 questions. 1. Have I been persistent enough with this goal? 2. Have I taken action, or am I just thinking? 3. Am I daring to do the hard things or only picking what's easy? 4. Have I taken 100% responsibility for what I've done? If your answers aren't strong enough, it's time to change. Don't let false failure become the prison that traps your life. Remember, failure is not scary. What's truly scary is fooling yourself into thinking you've done everything when in fact you've never truly dared to fight. 5. Starting over from zero. A rebirth at 30. At 30, you fail. Your money's gone, your career collapses, the people who once patted your back disappear. Some choose to sit in a dark room blaming themselves. Others start blaming their family, society, or unfair fate. But the harsh truth is, no matter how much you complain, no one will give you back what you've lost. What will you do now? This is the moment that decides how you'll live the rest of your life. The first thing to do is not to cry or complain, but to take clear inventory. What do you still have? What have you lost? Who do you owe? Who can you still trust? Then ask yourself, how do you want to live in the next 5 years? In 10 years, what will matter most to you? At this point, stop dreaming about far-off things. Be realistic. A stable job, a family that doesn't have to worry about daily survival, or enough savings so that no one dares to look down on you again. Then calculate. What more are you willing to sacrifice to gain that? Time, health, pride? Are you willing to leave your comfort zone and try again from scratch? Next, don't blindly do it all alone. Find at least one mentor or a clear-headed, honest friend who can show you the blind spots you'll never see on your own. Some mistakes you keep repeating not because you're weak, but because no one dares to tell you where you went wrong. But remember, free advice from people who've never dared to take risks will only keep you spinning in fear. Listen to those who've fallen hard, lost deeply, and started over. That's real experience. And carve this principle into your soul. Start over, but don't repeat. Start small to learn control. Save a backup fund, not to prepare for failure, but to buy calmness when storms hit. Learn to measure risks, stop in time, turn around in time. Every day, ask yourself, what did I do better today than yesterday? With every small failure, write it down. What was the mistake? What was lost? How can I avoid stumbling there again? A friend once told me when starting over from nothing, every night he would reflect in front of the mirror. Not to blame himself, but to remind, tomorrow I won't repeat today's mistake. Gradually, those falls turn into scars. And strangely enough, at some point, you'll start to see those scars as medals. They aren't pretty or shiny like a certificate on the wall, but they are the proof that you dared to fall, dared to stand up, dared to begin again. Today, you're listening to my sharing, but who knows, maybe in a few years, you'll be a completely different person, more successful, more remarkable than who you are today. Be strong and brave. Stand up on your own feet. If you've stumbled, have the confidence to start again. I hope this message helped you awaken something inside. Thank you for listening. Please come back for more on this channel. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye and see you again soon.